Question 5. The gross domestic product, or GDP, per capita measures worldwide economic output per person. The GDP per capita Y in dollars, X years after 1980 is listed in the table below. So this is dollars, and this is years after 1980. Based on these data, write an exponential regression equation to model the GDP per capita in dollars X years after 1980. Round all coefficients to the nearest hundredth. So to do exponential regression, we hit stat, we hit edit, and if there's any numbers in there, we're going to just type right over them or delete them. So my X's are going to be L1, so 1, 6, 9, 20, 29. I'll delete the last number that's there. My Y's are going to be L2, so 9,500, 10, 525, 11, 522, 16, 60, 19, 676. Delete the last one that's there. So to get to the screen again, it was stat edit, and then we want to just put in our numbers into L1 and L2. Now we're going to go turn on our stat plot, second y equals, and we're going to turn on stat plot number 1. The only thing you need to do here is on, and then everything else is the first setting, L1, L2. We don't need to actually do that, but I always like to do it because I like to look at the graph. And then to look at the graph, we're going to hit y equals, make sure we have nothing in our y equals, and then we're going to do zoom number 9. And now I can see all the dots. To get the equation, we hit stat, go over to calc, and this question asks for exponential regression, so we're going to go down to number 0. And we don't need to change any of the values here, so we just go down to calculate. And now we're just going to copy these values onto our paper. It said rounded to the nearest hundredth. So y equals a times b to the x. Y equals a is 9125 point. It said nearest hundredth, right? So 49 times b is 1.0 nearest hundredth, so it'll be 1.03, and our exponent is x. So that's the answer for that first part. The second part of this question says, use the rounded equation. So don't use all the numbers in the calculator, just use this equation to algebraically determine to the nearest tenth of a year the number of years after 1980 when GDP per capita was 14,000. So they are telling us a number of currency number. They're telling us dollars, which means they are telling us the y. So I'm going to write this equation and change y to 14,000. So they want us to solve this equation for x, and they gave us y. When you are given an equation where the variable is the exponent, that's a good sign that you're going to be using logs. So first, I need to get this 9125 out of here. So I'm going to divide by 912549. 912549. 14,000 divided by 9125.49. And we're going to get 1.03 to the x is equal to 1.53416 ... I'm not actually going to round that, and I'm not actually going to get rid of it off my calculator screen because I don't want to round it. If I round it, then I might make a mistake. So this is where we bring in log. Our log, the base of the log is whatever the exponent is attached to. So our little writing down here is 1.03. What we're logging is this giant decimal here. So I'm going to write 1.53416 ... And it's equal to the exponent. So if we just type that on our calculator, we're going to get the value that we need for the answer. We don't have to do any steps after that. So to get a log with a base, I have to hit math on my calculator. Math is right here. And then I'm going to hit up 3 times, two times to go to log base. Now that little tiny number there needs to be that decimal. So instead of typing it all in again, I'm just going to go up and highlight it and hit enter, and it will bring it down for me. And I'm pretty sure it actually is keeping it unrounded deep down inside somewhere in the calculator. And then in the parentheses, oh, whoops, I did that backwards. I need to put that decimal in the parentheses, not down here. So try that again. The base is 1.03. The parentheses is that number. So I'm going to put it right there. I'm going to hit enter. So the answer worked out to be x is equal to 14. It says round to the nearest tenth of a year, 14.5 years. So this question was asking, how many years after 1980 will the capita be 14,000? And the answer is 14.5 years.